So
So, hello. Hercules is not in the water yet. We have Argus very deep at 3,000, a little over 3,000 meters below the surface, and between 15 and 20 meters above the seafloor. Do you guys have any good suggestions for podcasts?
I'm sorry, for what?
Podcasts?
Oh, podcasts.
Thank you.
I thought you said vodka. It's like, I am not a frequent watcher of podcasts, so I would not be a good person to go to.
Hmm.
Anyone else?
No.
Well, that's apparent given that he
yeah.
said watching podcasts, so clear that you don't listen to them.
They're typically an audio.
Cop it. Okay.
But no, I don't really either.
No.
There's the, the super, they're really good, but the really popular ones, is it the Radio Labs
Oh,
ones.
Radio Lab.
This American Life, and there's another one. Malcolm Gladwell has a really good music one with Rick Rubin, who is a very well-known producer. He's done a lot of cool things. Malcolm Gladwell also has another good one called Revisionist History, where they go over kind of obscure historical things.
Nice.
And there's the, I can't remember, there was a really popular kind of crime one where somebody may have been falsely imprisoned or something. I can't remember the name of that.
Serial.
Serial.
Oh.
But I'm not big on them either. I don't know much.
Are you asking, or is it a?
I'm asking. Yeah.
What about a science one? Does Bill Nye have one or something like that?
Oh,
there might be like a
maybe.
Science Friday one or something, but I don't listen to a ton of them. So
I think the the cool thing about them is they can be really specific. I mean, they can be broad and have different topics all the time, but you can also get really specific with them. So it's kind of whatever you're into.
Yeah.
There must be jillions of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was not into them until a couple months ago when I graduated from the masters, and finally I got back my life.
Yeah.
And then I started with this podcast called Invisibilia. Pretty interesting.
What's it again?
Invisibilia.
Okay.
It's about like psychological things.
Cool.
Very interesting, yeah. Oh, we have a question about the weather. Here.
Weatherman Chris.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Let
tell us about
me,
the weather here.
Yeah. So actually we just had the wind pick up a little bit. It was just at about 13 to 15 knots. It's now at about 20 to 21. Coming out of the northeast. It says we have a current of about a knot, but really all that is the way our sensor reads current is any resistance that isn't coming from the ship or from the wind. And usually that would be correct, but in this case we're towing Argus behind us, so it's feeling a lot of resistance from behind us. So we probably have maybe 0.3 or 0.4 knots of current, not an entire knot. And then yeah, swells have died down a little bit. They're maybe 1 to 1.5 meters. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's a comfortable temperature out.
It occasionally rains
It's a-
very
it's a-
spontaneously.
Good day
Yeah.
for the beach, you know?
Yeah.
For us, for everyone else that's listening, I have no idea what your weather's like. Go to the beach if you'd like. Yeah, the ship's DP system is humming right now, trying to keep up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Martina's changing our angle so we're facing a little more into the wind. It's hard when we're trying to track straight on the lines, but then the wind's coming off our beam.
Yeah, it seems like the winds in this area are quite variable. Like 2 days ago when we set up these lines, we put them directly into the wind, and now it's
Yeah.
at a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case. So the historical reports we have of the crash, they at one point said the winds were out of the southwest, and at one point they said they were out of, I think, the exact opposite. I think out of the northeast. So even that day when they were recording, when they were looking for the aircraft, the winds had changed.
Yeah, we've definitely got some interesting, especially when like squalls come through.
Yeah.
It's picked up all the way from 10 knots up to like 30 or more. So yeah, along with all that intermittent rain.
And to respond to some of the questions, we do feel some of the swell here in the boat and here in the van.
Yeah, it's usually pretty good with us mostly facing into it, giving us a good ride. And we're also not going that fast. If we were charging into the swell, it would be a little rougher ride. But yeah, definitely helps that we're not getting knocked around up here.
We have some suggestions for podcasts. This Land, Threshold, 99% Invisible, and S-Town, just in case you guys are interested.
S-Town is great. That's by the same people as Serial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but different.
Oh, yeah. Did you say the S-Town one? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a really, I think it was on that one, a really good one with this.
Is that a sea cucumber?
That was a sea cucumber.
Oh, we
Excellent.
got scientific confirmation. I'll take it. That's number 41.
Perfect.
Okay,
Did
wow.
you see it though?
That's not, I didn't see all the other ones that Miles and
Oh, okay. So
Rennie
this
got.
is not just on our watches.
Oh, this is a group effort.
Oh, okay. I still think that they look like jellyfish.
That's what I thought at first until someone actually like told me that there was a sea cucumber that just lived pelagically its whole life.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I'm having trouble identifying some of the other like clearish critters in the water column. There's so many things that have a transparent-ish body.
Clearish, yeah.
That might be a fish, silverfish.
Yeah, down.
A ginormous shrimp.
We're out of the rocks again. It's very,
Yeah, we're
Just
probably coming back into
muddy.
it in a minute here.
yeah.
No.
Come further east.
All the rocks.
Well, it gives us a good bottom reference. It's hard when you don't even know
Yeah,
you're
that's
looking at
true.
the bottom.
It looks like blue water if we're just looking at mud.
Yeah.
But yeah, if any of the viewers see anything in the Argus cam or even the side scan sonar, go ahead and send them in, and we can always go back and see what you saw after watch.
So here on the boat it's 4:45 a.m. for the ones that are asking. And that's the topography of American Samoa interfere with the wind directions where we are. I would say yes, right? Because we have some mountains that would serve as a shield in some directions. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we definitely, being north of the island, really a lot of the winds coming out of the south get shielded or at least redirected a little bit. We still catch a little bit of it, but with it being so highly variable, we usually don't stay out of it for long.
Do you think we don't get to see much living organisms in the camera is because of the camera reach and the light, or because there is no much to see?
Well, right now I think there's not very much to see because we can see that in the sonar there's nothing to see. So I think, yeah, you can see there's like there's a few little things on the seabed. So we are still it is still in view. It looks like the water column because there's nothing to see there. But I mean, we are still seeing the seabed, and if an object came up, as I'm sure eventually another rock will pop up, we're in range. See, there's a few black dots there. That's on the seabed, whatever that is.
Mini cucumbers.
Some fish down there.
Yep.
I mean, we are pretty deep, so I don't, there may not be as much life
Yeah,
in general.
it's not the sort of cold seep area that Nautilus has often explored, or vents, or this is typical deep sea, kind of devoid of a lot going on.
Yeah, that goes back to what we were talking about dive site location.
Yeah.
Because we were diving at 3,200 meters previously. They had just been areas that we had specifically picked on these seamounts with a lot of rocks that like the deep sea corals and sponges were able to hold on to, and then they would support their own ecosystem of life around them.
Right, yeah.
And with just sediment, you're mostly just going to have sea cucumbers, the occasional fish, and some
There
smaller.
might be more life in the mud than we see.
Yeah.
What was that?
That looked more like a jelly or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
dark.
Cannot confirm.
Miles leave his coffee beans out today?
I don't see him.
Of course not. Oh my god.
There's more of them.
Oh my god. Oh, these ones aren't open. Oh, it's a moral dilemma.
Not yet.
What would you do?
Oh, I think he finished the other bag.
Yeah. Do you return the bag, open the bag, or open the bag and say
And
the
eat them
previous
all.
watch didn't?
Yeah.
And then there is no more bag.
That's right.
All the evidence is gone.
Yeah. Stop
Remove the
recording
bag.
SPL.
What bag?
Eat all the coffee beans. Discard bag.
Oh, so no more coffee beans today?
Well, there's a giant
No.
bag. What we're talking about is our lead navigator, Miles, has a giant bag of chocolate-covered coffee beans over here. It's unopened, though. So it would be pretty obvious if we started taking from it. Just cut a hole in the bottom of the bag and tape it back up.
Cut a hole in bottom.
Tape it back up. Yeah.
It's like a heist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't even open this. It's half gone.
Then he might think that it's tainted and he can't have them.
Yeah, maybe.
That'll be great. We'll just
Then you
get
can be
some-
like, well, we don't mind. We'll
Do-
take our chances.
Do not consume if
Yeah.
seal has been broken.
We'll get some tape from downstairs, cut a hole in the bottom, take some out, tape it
Yeah,
up.
along one of the seams.
Yeah.
So yeah, on our sonar, brighter yellow indicates height mostly, right? Or we have a question about if it indicates also angle facing more directly at Argus.
No, so it actually indicates reflectivity of the seabed. So the more bright colors like the yellow is something that's a stronger reflection, so rock or metal. And then the duller, browner color is material that will absorb the sound more, which is like mud. So it's geographic. So it's the sonars on Argus that are on the sides of it, and then it's looking out to each side. And so it's kind of a geographic display as we move through the water of the seabed and the reflectivity of the seabed.
So it doesn't have to do with height either.
No, so if something
cool.
is high, like if there's something with relief on the seabed,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see a shadow behind it, and so that's what we see in some of the rocks. You get the bright
Mhm.
yellow return and then black behind it, which is a shadow.
Okay.
If you think of like if you shine a flashlight on an object at an angle, you'll see the shadow of the object because that it blocks the light from continuing onto the floor, and that's similar. We're just seeing an acoustic shadow here, so the sound can't go past that rock or whatever object it is, and so that's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can picture the ping is originating in that whitish gray bar in the middle of the black. So the ping originates there, and then it hits the seabed at the edge of the black,
Mm-hmm.
and then it continues to the right and to the left as we go by, and then the sound returns it when it bounces off the seabed, and then the transducers sense that and then visually report back, what's down there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And we are north of Pago Pago, which is in American Samoa.
We're gonna get some topography on this turn.
Definitely. I'll try to see if I can
Oh yeah, that's pretty
keep
steep.
Argus towards
Yeah.
the end of the line. But it's probably going to get somewhere in there.
Yeah.
There's some rocks up ahead.
Yeah. Excellent.
So yes, you're right. There is a small gap directly under Agres that is not being imaged, but we are kind of trying to compensate for that with the camera, and
All right.
and the gap wouldn't be big enough for us to miss an important part of the wreck. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, the idea was to maybe keep it at like a 10-meter altitude. At this height, we're a little bit under 20 on either side. You could potentially miss something, but again, I think with the fact that we can see directly below us, kind of does compensate for that quite well. So it's unlikely that we're gonna miss it in the camera and miss it in the sonar.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And we have the return of our friends, the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have it marked down here on our bingo card.
On a note card?
Bingo card.
Bingo card.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mike will let you guys know when he gets bingo.
Are these just rocks?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep, we're pretty sure. And we're seeing sort of double returns from them because we're going slow. So we kind of we see the same thing kind of stretched out. So when you see the sort of regular pattern, I think it's
Oh.
I think the sonar is picking it up more than once. And so hopefully when we process it, it'll kind of compensate for that.
Mm-hmm. Does the frequency of the sonar hurt or frighten the ocean creatures?
No, this type of sonar is not in the decibel range that would that harms any creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Those are usually much high powered sonars. These are pretty low frequency.
Yeah, I know. Even with our multi-beam, there's a specific setting in it when we're starting it up. That's the marine mammal setting. So it changes its power output depending if you're in certain areas where you would not want to interfere with marine life.
almost forgot.
That would have just been another space.
That's right. That would have been cheating, though.
Looks like it's raining outside.
Aye.
Yeah, probably.
That it is. Talking about that variable weather.
Mm-hmm. Wow, up to 26 knots, huh?
Yep.
Ooh.
And today we have a very special guest, did you know?
Who's that?
Mr. Bobby Argus.
Let me try to remember the
How did
name.
they get 4 out of that?
What?
How do they call them that primary comp gauge 4?
Yeah,
Solid
so
3,
we
isn't it?
so
Looks
we'll
like it.
have the son of the Pan American Airways founder.
Well,
That's
it's been
going
like that for days, though.
to
Oh, wow.
come in half an hour, more or less.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Her name is Ed.
Yeah, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, right?
It's a potential sea cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
See if we get any closer. No.
This is great that we have so many visitors coming back. So we have a lot of returning visitors, not only in our website, but also in Twitter and Facebook, following this adventure, trying to find the Samoan clipper.
Welcome back.
So how big is the reach of the camera that Argus has? So how much are we seeing there? Do you know?
It depends on our altitude off the seafloor. If I had to guess, I mean, ideally we'd be, what, like 40 meters wide to cover our blind spot, but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not.
think we're quite that wide. It's probably closer to
I think they were estimating close to 20.
20 meters wide.
That's what I had heard. I haven't done the math.
Yeah, I would think like 15, 20 meters.
Okay.
It'd be cool if we had some another set of lasers on Argus for this, like 1 meter apart, like we do with the 10 centimeter lasers on Herc.
Are you only showing the lines that we got done there?
No, these ones are green.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah, I can see it now.
you won't see them really well until I select them.
Right.
Do we have any documentation of the rate of sediment deposition in this area?
Not directly. It's not extremely high because it's not a very productive area, but there is as we see with evidence from the rocks, there is quite a bit of slumping from the steep slopes from the islands, which is where the rocks come from as well. But I don't expect it's in any sort of volume that would, bury something from 81 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think even with some of the most productive areas where the marine snow is coming down really hard, you're still only looking at centimeters over hundreds, thousands of years.
It takes 56 seconds for a point that comes into the sonar to go off the screen. Not quite a whole minute.
Bridge nav. At the end of this line, we're going to proceed to the selected target. I'll call back to hold position.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
We should just have like a string to pull or like rings a bell and just whoever's up just runs up here with some coffee.
Some of these hours, though, there may not be anyone around.
Yeah.
I was up a little after 3 before the interaction, and there's somebody from the crew, and that was about it.
Yeah. And they got stuff to do. They're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not gonna bring us coffee.
Oh, they're not gonna bring us coffee. They want coffee of their own.
You should ask though.
Oh, I'm sure they would if you asked, but it doesn't mean I want to interrupt whatever their duties are.
On the Canadian Coast Guard ship, the Tully, if nowhere else, the bridge, when they want coffee, they pick up the receiver, so they have like a phone, like intercom. They pick up the receiver and they just tap something on the end of it. So it's like tap, 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 tap. And that's the signal for one of the crew on duty to rush up there with coffee.
It's not Morse code, it's just random
No,
tapping.
it's just very kind of demanding kind of a thing. It's like,
I don't think that works here.
bring me my coffee.
When I was on one of my other ships, we had like just a phone system just for the ship, and occasionally you call up from the galley, and it would be one of the mess cooks, and be like, "You guys want anything?" Like, "Oh, you know, don't want to bother you, but any chance I could get nice coffee, 2 cream, 2 sugar?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure," and just bring it on up. It was very nice, especially at 5 in the morning. I have a habit of chugging my coffee very quickly and then not having any more.
Probably didn't get any coffee today, did you?
No, I did not.
One of our followers is supporting us opening that bag of beans.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah. So did anybody?
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
Did you guys come through Apia at all on your way here? The ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you find any good coffee shops in Apia?
We were in a resort that was pretty far from everything.
All right.
Mhm.
So we didn't have, you'd have to take a cab into like the villages and stuff. It was just like the resort restaurants that we had access to.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was it Dan asked while we were in Pongo Pongo on a bus ride? And really the only answer we got was not big fans of coffee. And we're like, what does that mean? Where can we find a coffee? Apparently it's not readily available.
He was also looking for like. He also asked about beans, I think.
Yeah, he was looking for beans that we could do. Yeah, I don't know if they'd.
We had to go on a mission to a kind of a Costco type place to get beans, but we did get them.
Oh, you did?
Oh, was it the cost you less?
Cost you less. Yep.
Cost you less? Was it the letter U or the word U?
My guess is the
Want
letter.
to say the letter.
Yeah, that would make sense. Cost you less.
So it wasn't actually at Costco.
No, it wasn't. a
No, but it
Costco.
was similar. But
Okay.
only, like, maybe you didn't need a membership. Lots of good products there. So exciting.
Was Trevor with you? I know he was running low.
No, we got him some things.
Oh, good.
And you guys just found like regular coffee beans, not chocolate covered.
You could chew those.
Oh, we didn't look, you know. They could have even had them.
Yeah, you could, but
Fail.
Yeah.
I feel like they weren't there though. We were pretty thorough.
So are regular espresso beans just as crunchy and delicious as the ones inside of a chocolate-covered espresso bean?
Well, yes, but without the chocolate.
Well, yeah, you lose some of the deliciousness is chocolate part. I don't
Okay,
think
well,
it's
I have
very
some- I
good
have
to
some-
just eat the coffee
You
beans.
can eat the coffee beans with chocolate.
I
at
have
the
some
same
chocolate in my
time.
room that next time I could bring up, and we could do a little
Yeah.
combo.
Someone would need to donate their beans for the
That's-
experiment.
It's kind of hard up, isn't it? Eat one handful of chocolate and one handful of beans.
You could try to melt it and dunk, like cook your own,
And
but
then we
that
could,
might get
then we
too
can
much.
cover the beans ourselves.
Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on, we can be resourceful.
Just catch us up there at 3 in the morning. So I was like, what are you doing? Don't worry about it.
There's
Sound-
that bag of trail mix that all the chocolate is melted together in the window. We could
Oh,
just
yeah.
put them in a bag and leave it
Some
in the
of that, like, it's clumped together
That's
where
a
the
great idea.
chocolate was.
Yeah, we get like a pan, and
Definitely.
we lay it out in the sun,
Yes.
and just let it melt, like, and then harden. Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be good.
Didn't think that one through, putting the chocolatey trail mix in the window.
No.
Sea cucumber.
I see this one.
Ba-boom.
How many do we have now?
We're up to 43.
$43 in a little over 12 hours. Is that
Yeah.
how many sea cucumbers per hour?
So we're almost looking at 4 an hour. A little less.
It's like a rain of sea cucumbers.
Yeah.
I meant R-A-I-N, not R-E-I-G-N.
Yeah.
But it could be both.
A kingdom that they rule.
Yeah, that's right in the range you want to be with sea cucumbers.
Yeah, any more than that would just be crazy.
You guys ever seen a video with the guy that's like, cucumber? He sings like a song about cucumbers and how they're
no.
good for you and everything.
Nope.
Uh,
Have you guys heard the guacamole song?
nope.
Nope.
Which one? I've
Yeah.
heard a couple.
I think Rebecca knows what I'm talking about. It's this woman that sings a bunch of these songs just about stuff, and she just keeps repeating guacamole over and over and over. You'd know it if you'd seen it.
It gets stuck in your head.
It does.
Isn't it like cats that are really afraid of cucumbers? Like if you, I feel like I've seen a
Yeah,
bunch
we,
of videos.
we
where-
tried it with my parents' cat and she didn't care.
What's the story with that? Is it because they like look like snakes or something, or
I don't know.
I wonder if they'd be afraid of sea cucumbers.
is it just that
Might
they're
be another.
afraid of like
There
some?
it is.
I don't know.
It's not right.
Oh man.
So to our followers, let us remind you that if you are interested in finding some materials for education and science, you can visit our website and go to the education tab. You'll find all sorts of cool stuff for your kids, students, just to explore and have fun. And also, if you're interested in having an interaction, a live interaction with the boat, you can contact us through our website and book your time to have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes chat with us. Are we naming our sea cucumbers?
We can.
That's 43 names you have to come up with already.
We
Great
have,
idea. We should start.
One of our followers is volunteering to
To name
the
them?
first one.
Oh.
Squeak.
Okay, I'll take it. Until we have other names, the others are gonna stay as 2 through 43,
Great.
affectionately called number 2
There's
through
something
43.
That was
Something interesting over there.
Did you see that too? I don't know what that was.
It was not a sea cucumber.
Nope. It almost looked like a sea star, but it was floating sideways. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Unstocked crinoid.
maybe seemed pretty far off and pretty big, but I don't know the species here. So possibly, yeah.
Bridge nav. Of course we hold position. Thank you. Alright, staying put and checking our swing.
Roger. Got a big something
Yeah.
coming.
Something, something.
You can kind of see it in the bathymetry even. It's steep.
That looks super cool.
Hmm?
Ramen.